Don't forget your friend Daiko and his completely legal package.
Yoo-hoo! Over here. Ah, there you are. It's rather rude of you to keep a lady waiting. I'll forgive you, though. It gave me a chance to dip into my notes about the Circle of Archmagi. One does not simply waltz into an Archmage's domain unprepared. Tell me, dearie, how much do you know about Reengrim? Oh, lovely. Then you know what we're up against. Oh, her spells are legendary. The Circle of Archmagi are the most powerful magical beings in Aora. Whatever the reason, the fact that she's here at all is significant. Oh, Andra's titties, the Circle sent the Archmage of Terror. Oh, she's just brilliant. Well, Nakukubel is the largest of the godless ruins. It's still got its share of secrets. There must be something in there of interest to Reengrim. Probably something powerful. I knew I liked you, darling. I'll be with you every step of the way. Those Steel Garrote bastards stole all my research about the godless. They'll get to the garden first over their dead bodies. I can show you the way to Reengrim's domain, but we should travel lean. The less of us there are, the less likely she'll take notice. You'll need me to get you in the door, so who's staying behind?
I promise we'll get into the right amount of trouble.
Perfect. Oh, this is going to be fun.
don't forget your friend Daiko and his completely legal package that you need to pick up.
How do you feel about poetry? Poetry.
Poetry? Why the hell are you asking me about poetry?
Do you like it? Oh, come on, you can tell me. Say a few lines of poetry.
Wait. Do you think I have the dream scourge?
No, I don't. But I wanted to be sure, okay? They said that's the first sign. It can be both.
Yatsli, when all of this is behind us, are you going back to Fiorme Severnal?
It's hard to imagine leaving forever, especially with... Quilici still there? Well, what about... Are you, dearie?
Even if I could go back, it wouldn't be the same. Who knows? Maybe getting banished was the best thing that's happened.
Listening to Yatsley's thoughts about godless ruins is one thing. Bringing her along for the rest of the trip is something else. Well, don't you think it's a little convenient? You need to go somewhere no one ever goes, and here she is to show you the way? If she's read anything about the garden, it was written centuries ago. Obviously, things have changed since then. Bothered? Petraku. It's my job to guide you as safely as possible. What you're doing isn't safe. I'll go along with whatever you decide. Just don't be disappointed when she doesn't show you what you wanted to see. Anyway. Pleasant dreams. At least I know how to deal with those sorts of things. Rope, lantern, extra water skins. Yatsley's got you going in all sorts of abandoned ruins. Who knows what's down there? More questions, most likely. And spiders. How come the answers are never in a little oasis with shade and drink service? I just want to make sure we've covered all the options before we dive headfirst into another deadly ruin. I'm sure we'll be fine. I just hope this is all worth it. Anyway. Thanks for talking. I remember what it was like to be blindly optimistic. I envy you. This used to be a fertile land, with lakes, forests, all of that. Then everything suddenly changed several hundred years ago. Now it's blasted deserts and dried up seas. Anything that lives here is simply stubborn enough not to die.
That's the most apt description of Thirdborn I've ever heard.
Ah, yes. There's that most reliable of survival tools. Unearned confidence. That probably serves you well as an envoy, but you can't eat confidence when you're starving. What do you need? Until next time.
I hope Thirdborn is a good community for my people.
Thirdborn. Well, that's what I'm trying to nail down. You ever come back to a place and feel like the buildings are smaller and the colors are duller? It's not that I've gotten tired of the place. It's like it's shrunken and dried out, like an old gourd. Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis, dangerous and out of the way, but bursting with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types. People like Capo, the Leviathan Slayer, and Tama. Glory seekers, trophy hunters, warriors trying to leave their battles behind. People who built around their stories and their scars. Me too. Being back. It felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death. True. But I can't help but feel that the Thirdborn I knew 6 years ago would have faced it better. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temerity's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving? For a while, I suppose. Eventually, you need more. What about you? You were sent by your Emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge. Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. Between releasing Egwolf and thwarting the Steel Garrote and Emerald Stair, you've opposed your empire's interests. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides? That kind of clarity is rare. Thanks for talking. I hope Thirdborn is able to find its way somehow. A marker of his
You always hope it won't come to that.
You hope it won't, but you know it might. It's an old Rautian naval tradition that Thirdborn's kept alive, and another debt I owe him. Shake the sand out of your bedroll before you settle in.
The Dream Scourge is getting worse. First our land, then our animals. Now our people. If we don't put a stop to it, we're looking at the end of the Living Lands. I keep trying, and the world keeps punishing me for it. As if the Dream Scourge wasn't enough of a problem, the Adirans are profiting off our misfortune. They haven't come to help us. They're here to exploit our weakness. Agreed. They can no longer hide in the shadow of benevolence. It's too bad. We're fighting for our lives, our souls, and our freedom. I don't know if we can win all three. You really think so? My apologies for acting cynical, but it feels as if nature, politics, and even the very gods are working against us. I don't appreciate being backed into a corner, but here I am. Despite everything that's happened, I'm so grateful to be working with Yatsli. In many ways, Quilichi has been like a second father to me. But Yatsli, she's like my dirty aunt who's up to no good. Oh, she's an expert in that field. While I have your attention, I've been thinking. Why is Inquisitor Ludwig suddenly interested in godless ruins? She's a smart one. I'll give her that. We should be ready for anything. Something tells me Ludwig isn't finished with us yet. Thanks for talking. I don't leave Emerald Stair often enough. With everything going on, there's been no time to explore. Finally, I had a moment to myself, and look what happened. The Steel Garrote invaded the living lands. Sorry. I'm in a mood, if you couldn't tell. Only if you can stand the ramblings of a depressed bookworm. I used to think I had it all figured out. But the living lands proved me wrong in so many ways. This entire island is the prison of a mad god. How is one Animancer supposed to compete with that? All we're missing is the juggling act. Maybe I'm being melodramatic, or maybe I'm not used to seeing things clearly. But what if Animancy has no future in the living lands? What if my entire career was a mistake? Did I? After what happened to my parents, I always thought the path chose me. You're a good listener as always, but I've taken enough of your time. I'll be fine, really. I'm not the first Animancer to question her life choices, and I won't be the last. Not before I've done some reading.
For the camp of an official Adiran envoy, I was expecting a little more. A proper bed, at least. But I suppose this will do for now. As long as you have a bath, of course. Lovely to hear that. Not only am I in an Adiran camp, I'm in a cheap Adiran camp. But, as riveting as it is to complain about our accommodations, I imagine you have another topic in mind? I'm the only buyer you'll find here, and I already have the jar. A lesson for next time, darling. It's always worth some haggling. Unfortunately, it's been quite some time since I've met another who focused on the godless as I do, and I imagine I'd be more knowledgeable on the subject than anyone else you could find. I've yet to be burned in a single flame trap, and I don't intend to start anytime soon. Fair guess, though. When I got my first grimoire as a child, I was trying out some of the fancy new spells I'd been given. I was attempting a simple illusion spell, but I must have slurred my words. The next thing I know, everything was on fire. I mean, my arm wasn't the only casualty. What is childhood but for silly things? When else can you get away with arson? My father was able to pull me from the flames as my mother doused them. I burned myself badly enough to give myself some vivid dreams, but the house still stood at the end. Of course. Now I only burn those that deserve it, like mosquitoes and university administrators. The only lasting damage was my burn mark and the dreams. Nightmares are still dreams, envoy. Just not ones you'd recommend to others. They're not nearly as enjoyable as my more, provocative dreams. Oh. Well, just be sure to have a quick release knot if you ever make that fantasy reality. Someone should learn from my mistakes. I certainly have no intention to.
Goodness, we're feeling very honest today, aren't we?
As delightful as you are, we've much to do and less time to do it in. Shall we go? Oh, Envoy, might I steal a moment of your time? Well, it's the waiting that makes the payoff so delicious, don't you agree? Look, I lost more research than I'd like to count, but Fiora and its people are safe. That's what matters. Thank you, Envoy. I don't know how you managed it, but whatever you did, you averted disaster. That being said, your ambassador is going to get an earful, and possibly a fistful, next time we're in Paradise. Don't tempt me, Envoy. At least we were able to get everyone to safety. Though with everything happening in Thirdborn, safe might be relative. At least I know Temerity will keep an eye on them. I think she knows what'll happen if she doesn't. I know, and she knows. Let's leave it at that. Long enough that I trust her to do her best by everyone. You see, Emerald Stair has Naku Tedek. For a young and aspiring godless scholar, it was a godsend, if you'll forgive the pun. And, as a young-at-heart godless scholar, I've traveled outside the stair to other ruins. That's how I met Temerity. Thirdborn's close to Naku Kubel, and a girl's gotta eat sometime. Yes, why did I choose to settle down with a gorgeous scientist who loves me? What a mystery. I still go out often. I've catalogued many ruins, but there are always more. And coming home to a warm welcome is lovely. You should try it sometime, darling. Oh, then surely you can understand the appeal. You say many. After such a long voyage home, I just hope you'll have the stamina to properly thank everyone. Brilliant, Envoy.
You don't have to be an animancer to enjoy the pleasure of their company.
Exactly. Thank you, darling. Even with the stunning lack of animancy in my life, I marched into town and everyone fell in love with me. Oh, part of it is my sparkling personality, of course, but a larger part of it is time. It's hard to hate someone when they drop by your lab with lunch after you've forgotten to eat again. As much as I'd love to, you don't travel with the kitchen. I can't promise anything. My mother always said that the way to a man's heart was through his stomach. Quilici and I got together the old-fashioned way, though. I saw a beautiful man across a smoky tavern. Then I dazzled him with my delightful personality. Then he showed me an abandoned ruin outside of town, and I was hooked.
Are you joking? He's my mentor. Not to mention 1,000 years old.
Oh, no. They're both handsome humans, of course. But Giada is like family to both Quilici and me. He taught her a lot of what he knows. She spent days in our home. Literal 26-hour days. It's hard to believe that things have changed so much recently. Any sense of safety just went poof. It makes you wonder how everything will turn out. Right. The city can be replaced, but not its residents. Thank you, Envoy. I feel a little less frazzled. I've got a lot to think on. Talk to you soon? How can I help, darling? Don't mind if I do. Do you think those Adirans were onto something? Do you think they can really cure the Dream Scourge? You may be right. I just hope we made the right decision. Even if they don't have a cure when we see them next, maybe they'll have a treatment. Even that would be a gift. Now that the researchers can research, think of what we'll learn. A cure might sound far-fetched, but what if they find treatments for the Dream Scourge? And even other ailments? Oh, I can't wait to see how far they've come when we see them again. Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Unless there's something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling? Always a...
Seeds of change, their petals sprout across the barren land. They sing to the unwanted ones, and the unwanted ones sprout in turn. The soil remembers what it once was. It will soon be whole, safe. The soil does not want these cities. It yearns for silence, for the kestrel song. But first, the sprouted ones will grow. They will bring the stillness and the bird song. The dam falls. The river returns to its source. It is how the land was and should always be. We want all of them gone. We wish for life to flourish again. Pilchards growing on bushes, life that should not be here. Death nourishes the soil. All things come from the rot. The spider devours her mate to lay her eggs. We ponder, dream of shifting sands now. We will speak again.
Worth and wrath! Nicely done! 10!
right, dear.
Enemy to the right! Under my protection!
Watch your right!
Not bad, envoy. Yatsley, look out!
All right. I think that's everything. I was talking to myself again, wasn't I? Sorry. I'll be all right. The dream thralls won't bother me. At least, I don't feel like they would. I had a dream about crossing the great sand sea, you see. Great dunes and shifting clouds. I had this feeling I'd come back changed. I'm not sure. I suppose I'll find out, won't I? I have to know what's out there. I'm not sure I agree with that. You'd rather know the truth than live in ignorance, wouldn't you? What you were meant for. Have we really fallen so far that we can't dream anymore? That's a shame. I should get going. As soon as I remember which way that is. The sand needs you, Loato.
Watch your flank!
The envoy needs healing! Envoy, watch your left!
You won't get... Don't you die on me! Come on! Come on! Bravo!
Isoksugu! Worse than rust!
Couldn't have done it better.
I've fallen! Time for payback!
Lost soldier. Sadly, not uncommon. Look around. The cartographer can't have gone far.